All right. Good evening, everyone. I trust that we are faring well. We are doing okay. We'll be starting right away. You can share the link with your friends that have not joined so that they can join. Um, for some of your friends that are not aware, you can let them know that we're about to start. Share the links with your friends so they can join as well. Yeah. So share the links with your friends so you can join. We'll be starting right away. Some others they will join us once we others will join us once they're able to get the link, right? But I'm sure that we had a great day. I'm sure that we're able to rest. It's weekend, and I'm quite aware of the fact that sometimes some of us have to work on weekends. Anyways, welcome to another edition of our webinar. Today is going to be quite different from the regular, as we will be talking about how to navigate your first job. So it's a little bit different from the regular one we do, where we have a discussion around people talking about their tech experience and how they got into tech. This one is quite different, and um, what we'll be talking today about will help you when it comes to navigating your first job. Um, if you can hear me, you can drop a comment. All right. So without wasting much of our time, I have two guests today. They are both experienced in their field. I have with me Tommy and Merit. Tommy is a senior quality assurance engineer. Merit is a senior technical product manager. I've had the opportunity of working with both of them, and it's been. I can tell you for a fact they know their job, they know their beans. They've worked in several companies and they are doing well for themselves, right? So they will be sharing with us how to navigate first job, the challenges, the things you should know that will aid the navigation, right? Um, for many newbies, they struggle with their first job, understanding um, what is expected, managing work-life balance, struggling with one thing or the other, right? Especially in Africa. So they will be helping us with that. So let me just start with Tommy. Let me bring him in to he'll be sharing with us about himself. So first of all, Tommy, hi, good evening.
Good evening, Wale. Good evening.
Uh,
And
how are you
everybody.
doing now?
Very well, thank you.
All right. So here we have with us Tommy. As I said, a senior software engineer. So he will just be introducing himself to us and just opening the floor for us. Just introduction, basically. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, so good evening again, once again. And it's good to be on this platform, of course, with beautiful minds and everybody in the house. So I'm Tommy, a software quality assurance engineer. So I'll just, I don't want to say so much, but what I'll try to do this evening is just to give us some nuggets on how we can, number one, position ourselves in the industry, in the market as it is, positioning ourselves, then we also seeing how we can leverage opportunities that are available to us. And this will have to do with understanding the terrain, understanding even your own self, understanding your own resilience as pertaining to your skill, how you are able to put all of this together and navigating your path through the labor work market. So, in a nutshell, I do software quality assurance engineering. I have experience across product management, project management, a bit of development as well. So, at least across the software development lifecycle, I can talk about a number of things in that sphere. And that's largely about what I do. Thank you so much, Riley, for this opportunity.
Hi, Wally. I suspect that you're muted because I can't hear you, but I can't be.
All
I'm
right.
not
Yeah.
quite
Sorry
sure.
about that. Yes. All right. Can you hear me now? You should be able to hear me now.
Oh,
All right. Thank you very
yeah.
much. Thank you for joining us, Merit.
Yeah, I can.
Merit is also with us. She's a technical product manager.
Yeah, I'm
She
able to
has.
hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. All right. So just introduce yourself and just open the floor for us and just tell us a little about yourself, what you've done in the past, and what we should expect today. I think Merit is trying to navigate her way to join us. But yeah, so basically, as I said, we'll be talking about navigating your first job. I can remember my first job, my first tech job, and um, how it was navigating my way around. It was quite difficult. In my experience in the field, I've seen people come into the industry and struggle with their first job, right? Why this session is very important, so people can understand better how they can better prepare themselves and better position themselves for their first job. Merit, can you hear us now? Okay, I don't think Merit can hear us. Yes, as I was saying, is just a way of us, preparing ourselves and navigating our way around our first job. So I remember a guy I met in one of companies I work in the past. He resumed like 2 weeks, and within a month, the company had to let him go. Now, I've seen this guy's work. I think he entered as a mobile engineer, guys, a mobile developer, Flutter and all that. So he struggled in the first 3 weeks, and the company saw that, oh, we can't continue to work with this guy, and they just had to let him go, right? And for me, he could have avoided all the wasting of time and trying to find his way around if he knew some of the things that will be shared today. So I just want to prepare yourself to learn from what we'll be sharing today. So hi Merit, can you hear us now? Okay, I don't think she can hear us. All right, so I won't waste too much of our time. I would be sharing some of the questions that was. It's going to be more of a Q&A session where people will be asking questions, and we've had some questions already jotted down from those who have dropped their question based on the pool we shared last week. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube page, please it's an opportunity to do that now, so you can get notification when um, we have an event or we are holding a webinar like this. And just to also note that we have a training program currently ongoing where you can either choose to work with someone who's experienced in the field where you're interested in, and the person will be walking you through um, or navigating through the whole work experience, or you can, join the community so you can get information and tips to help you navigate your way around. So let me see if I can add Merit again. Hi Merit, please confirm you can hear me. Can you hear me now? All right. Okay.
Yeah, I can.
So
Apologies. The gremlins are coming from my network.
I don't think she
Yeah, I
can
can.
hear me. All right. So let's start with Tommy. I think there are some questions that was shared there that I'll be posting here for us to see.
Hi, Wally. So I can hear you, but I'm not sure I can hear you in
And the
real
first
time
question
because
for
I feel there's a
Tommy
lag.
is okay. This is from Michael. How can someone handle the pressure of not knowing enough when they first join a tech team? Hmm. Okay. This question is for Tommy. Hi, Tommy. So this is Michael. asking that how can someone handle the pressure of not knowing enough when they first join a tech team? Do you get that
Yeah.
question?
Okay, it's
All
a good
right.
question, Michael. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great, great. So the truth is, you can't actually know everything starting out on your first job. So because if you know everything, then I mean, what else is there to learn? And one of the key things that we should always look out for is learning, no matter where you find yourself. So what I would advise is for you to be able to handle pressure, and it comes from two ways. Number one is you need to be very confident in what you can do and believe in yourself. You call yourself maybe a project manager or a software developer, a quality assurance engineer. You should be able to like beat your hands on your chest and say independently, you know the stuff you are made of. This is not being trying to be boastful or anything now, but because that will still stem from the fact that you need to own your craft and know what it is that you're doing on your craft so much that you you understand the basic foundation, the rudiments of everything that pertains to what you are doing. So if I come ask you some basic questions about even what the field you claim to be in, you are not thrown off balance, you are not rumbled, you can just deliver. So by that, going into your first job is expected that you already understand some of the foundation elements of whatever field you've chosen to go into. And that will ask the question that are you even in the right space? That's even one key question. Because many people go into their first job, they struggle a lot. And at the end of the day, they just find out that probably that path they've chosen for themselves is probably not aligning with the kind of technical ability they have. For instance, even in the space of tech, we have a lot of fields. We have the project management, product, we have quality assurance, UI UX, a number of them, cyber security and the rest. And as humans, we are all built differently in the sense that we have things that aligns more with us, even from our own personal values, our own strength. There are some things that we can do much more efficiently with little or with not as much effort as compared to some other tasks that take you a whole lengthy time. The learning curve might be very strenuous. Something that takes somebody like 30 minutes to grab, it's taking you like 3 hours to comprehend it because we are different. That's just the basic thing. That's nothing to do with the fact that maybe you are not smart or you are not brilliant. But the truth is that we are different, and there are different things that aligns with our personality type. So if you're able to identify a path, because that's where this problem needs to be nipped from the beginning, where you've decided that okay, this is what I actually want to do. If you're able to establish and find something that aligns with your path, that's the first thing. When you've aligned and identified that, the other thing is for you to now carve a niche for yourself and develop your expertise in that. Developing your expertise now, I mean, you need to know the foundations, you need to have the regiment, you need to understand what that field is about. By that, going into your first job, you're already confident because even though you have not what's the word, you've not had a lot of robust experience in multiple industries, you've already had a lot of prep tutorials, probably you've been involved in community project or you've worked with somebody as a freelance or something, but you can deliver something and that gives you a level of confidence. It even shows even right from the point where you begin to apply for the jobs and all of that, which of course will later come into all of that. But from that, you can say that yes, you are quite confident in your abilities, you know what is expected of you. So when you come into that first job, regardless of everything I've mentioned, you might still find challenges in the sense that work environments are different. You might be in environments that are very toxic and like there's a lot of demand. They want you to deliver the project like today. There's a lot of pressure. The environment is pressurized basically, and if you find yourself in such environment, you need to just hit the ground running. That means you are expected to like know what is expected of you. Nobody is coming to tell you or spoon feed you and tell you that this is what this does, this is how this is supposed to, you understand that kind of environment. So if you are in such an environment, it is expected that you will be under pressure by default, especially if that is your first job, you've not had experience in other industries or other companies. So I are placed in such an environment. So this is what I advise. If you find yourself in such a space whereby there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of demand for delivery in terms of turnout rate, you need to leverage on people you meet there. Number one, they are coming in as a freshman. They understand that it's your first job. So, and they understand that fine, this person is new, is fresh in a way. And I can't just assume that they want to put all the box. So there are some people that are already doing it. So it's a learning curve for you to put your feet on the ground and begin to observe. Number one, when I get to a new place, the first thing I do is I try to first observe the environment, understand the system, understand the product, understand how their structures are even working within the teams and within the organization in terms of the structure within the teams. Like some teams run different type of structure, like there's this sprint planning, all those kind of things, and there are internal structures within your own team itself to say that before you can take on a task, there's some X, Y, and Z things that needs to be done. So all of that, you understand all those things. Once you are good with them, it will help you to move across with your work. So if you are able to establish all these things that I've mentioned, the first thing, identify your own craft, knowing what works for you. Nobody will come and shake you and um, beat you, or like nobody can even intimidate you. If you want to even leave a place, to be on your own terms, maybe because the work-life balance is not aligning with you. It's not from a technical aspect whereby you're not able to deliver on the job. It might be from a different perspective. Maybe it's taking too much, or it's having too much stress impact on you. You get what I'm trying to say? So if we're able to achieve all of that, I think we'll be fine.
All right. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
very
coming for
much. I don't know if
that.
that
Thank you so much.
answers, that gives you some level of your question.
Yes, you did. You did. You did. I think you did answer the question.
Okay.
Thank you very much. All right. So let me try and bring Merit in now to answer the next question. Hi, Merit. Can you hear us now? Okay. Hi, Merit. Okay. So while we meet Merit, let's go to the next question. This one is from Oluchi. And just to add to what Tomi have said, right? It's very important also you know what you are doing. For many people, um, you struggle to find a job, and you just want to land your first job, so you try to maybe pad your resume, put things you don't know and claim to know, pass through the interview process. With all these AI tools now, you can navigate your way around and find your way to through the whole interview process, right? And it's very important that know you prepare yourself, right? You know how to prepare yourself ahead, understand what the company is about, so you don't resume in a company that you've not done your research about, you've not done your background check, you've not checked what they do, right? You've not gone to their website, you've not. That's what I do when I before I even start my job. Or before even applying for the job, you should know about the company you're applying to. Then don't try to, when you resume in your new place, don't try to stay all by yourself. Understand the fact that it's a new environment for you, and you want to find a place to settle before you start meeting people. But for me, what works for me is, as soon as I resume, right? Most times you know who you are to report to, um, and other details like that, right? Try and get information about the business, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, and all that, right? What the company is trying to achieve, right? What your roles and responsibilities will be. What's Every company has a KPI for each staff. So what are the expectations from your team lead? And if you're a technical person, this mistake is with many technical people, developers, software testers. You Many of them don't seem interested in the business. You just want to get the work done, just write code and as it's no. For you to effectively build a product, you need to understand the product your company is building, first of all. So you should know the products you're building, have a business understanding of what your company is trying to achieve, such that when you are instructed to do whatever you're instructed to do, you understand the business side of things. You can now apply the technical bits to it. All right, so I think I can bring Merit in now. Hi, Merit, can you hear me now?
Hi, Wale. Yeah, I can, and I hope I'm hearing you real time. I had to switch to my mobile. Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Thank you very much for joining. So, can you just tell us a little about yourself and just introduce yourself to us?
Okay, because I've already taken a lot of our time, I'm going to try to be brief. So, my name is Merit Olisedozie. I'm a product manager. I've been product managing for, do I say, 5, 6, 7 years? I think about 6 years. Right. So, yeah, I went from customer service into product management. A bit about myself. I think that's about it. I went into product management because I am passionate about user experience in basically everything, apart from even products. If you are meeting me for the first time, I'm really keen on, okay, what's your user experience going to be with you, right? um if I'm taking you somewhere, or I'm like, oh, I like this music, I want you to hear it, I'm keen on, okay, what would your experience be, basically. So I'm just trying to channel that natural desire into product management, basically why I went into product management. I think that's brief.
All right. Thank you so much, Merit. Let's go straight to the first question. This is from for you. This is from Chioma, and our question is: if you were to start over today, what's one thing you would do differently during your first 90 days on the job? Chioma is asking that if you were to start all over today, what's one thing you would do differently during your first 90 days on the job as a technical product manager?
That's a very technical question. Yeah, it's kind of technical. What is it I'll do differently? I don't think I want to change anything in my journey. What's the thing I would do differently? I probably be more open minded to stakeholders. I think when I started my career, I wasn't very open minded as to, because I entered with a drive. Like the way you enter with a drive, you're like, okay, I want to do this, I want to change the world, right? And then, unluckily for you, or luckily for you, you're starting in a commercial bank where you have a lot of people with big bellies who are just trying to, no shades, but people who are just maybe trying to get by. They've been in the industry for 15, 20 years. There's probably nothing new under the sun. And you're just this Gen Z that is just very loud in their ears, like, "Brr, brr, we should probably do this, blah, 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 blah." So you now get to meet a lot of pushback. I probably would, what I would change would be to be more open-minded. I was in my bubble, or I want to do this, I want to make the world a better place. That's all about it. I was in my bubble a lot. In the first, say, 3, 4, 5 months, I wasn't even very keen on what their current challenges were. So why I got into product management to scenarios like, I was a front desk officer in the banking industry, so that's how I was in customer service. So when you're there, you get customers that come with all sorts of complaints that are very, very, I'm like, this is easy. You will not be here stressing my life on a very hot Saturday, Friday afternoon, right? When I should be getting ready for TGIF. So when I got a chance to get into product management, I'm like, I'm going to change all of that. I'll make customers be able to do this by themselves. I make them be able to do that by themselves. But then there's a reason why the company is currently not doing that, right? So if I were to change anything, it would be to chill, to understand why we're not currently there, what are the gaps, what are the risks, why are we taking that responsibility of the customer to kind of do it at the back office. I think that would have given me, a lot of people may have liked me more, to cooperate with me more. Yeah, in my first 3, 6 months. Yeah. Thank you for the
All
question.
right. Thank you very much. That was quite insightful. Yeah, that's very important. Very, very important. Yeah, I can relate actually. When you're a Gen Z, or not necessarily a Gen Z, a millennial, you're getting into the industry and you find yourself in a workplace where you find all these big belly daddies and mommies have been just for something 30 years. Sometimes navigating and relating with them and getting work done might be There might be constraints because some of them will be like, I've been in the industry for a very long time. What do you know, right? Especially if you're trying to you're trying to put a twist to how to the norms, right? How things used to work. You might get attacks from them, not necessarily attacks, but you might get feedbacks from them that might connote the fact that you're trying to, um, you know, what do you know? You're just zooming here. I think my second job, I had this. I won't call him. I call him a boss, but not my direct lead, but a lead on the another team. But we used to work together. So when I resumed, I tried to get the information I needed from my other colleagues. Understanding the product, understanding the business, relating with those on the team. So when they give us tasks like that, I'm able to execute based on my understanding of the business, right? So one of the challenges I had then was there was this boss that just felt like this boy is just resuming. He hasn't spent up to 2 months, 3 months. Why is he? What was he doing in this meeting? What was he doing in that meeting, right? So because I was very close to my boss, I was able to navigate my way fast and get work done. So my boss could trust me with more tasks, and I I could be allowed into more meetings and all that. So I felt I don't know. It's just an assumption, but I have my proof, right? That he felt I wasn't ready for those opportunities I was getting. So I got a lot of restraint on his part in terms of the way he talked to me and everything. So managing situations like that, when you just find you definitely find people that will just be like, who is this person, right? They don't know you yet, and they would try to act in a way that you might be like, can I cope with this kind of situation and all that. Don't get too gifted about it. Don't be scared. Just find a way to um, you know manage the situation, and do what you're supposed to do. It's expected, right? You just meet some people that will not just like you for no reason, and they will just act in a way to you. Maybe one week this person is not greeting you and all that. Oh, I think there's a story I remember, right? There's this lady that resumed and noticed that another colleague didn't used to talk to her, and she felt somehow because she would greet the lady will not answer her and all that. And so she thought she had done something wrong, right? So not knowing that this other lady have heard something about a lady somewhere else, like probably I think she said she was reported and thought it was this person that just resumed. I don't know if it was someone else. So when the other lady found out, she felt bad and apologized to this person that just resumed. Now, this person that just resumed did not know that this lady thought she had offended her and just started acting back towards her. So situations like this will happen in your new place of work. We are all human beings, and so you will find people that would offend you, or people that would treat you in a way that you don't want, that you wouldn't have treated someone else or something, right? Just find a way to navigate your way, find a way to manage the situation, right? And also don't be too quick to assume or judge, right? Take your time to understand what you are doing first. I think that will really, really help you. Let's go to Tommy. Let me get another question. All right. So, hmm, okay. This question is, how do I put it now? I think it still fits, but this person is talking about something else. Okay. So this is Sheon. Sheon is saying that how can someone professionally ask about or negotiate salary in their first job without sounding entitled? Um, this question is very funny. So this is taking
Yeah.
us to negotiation of salary now,
Okay,
right? And it's
so
very important actually
yeah,
how to properly negotiate salaries. I think you can talk from the aspect of before you even start the job, and when you spend some time on the job, whichever way you want to go about it.
yeah. So basically, these are the point where you get to talk about the money conversation, which is quite interesting and important. So for me, in fact, in my earlier days, if I had known better, to probably I would have been able to negotiate better as regards when it comes to the money aspect. So the thing is, for every role, every company has a budget for that role. irrespective of who you are. This is what I mean. If you are coming in as a freshman, probably 0 to 2 years experience, there's always a budget around what the salary is going to be for people of that level of experience. If it's for 5 years and above, and as you keep moving. So the thing is, don't play yourself down and think, oh, you've not worked somewhere before, you don't have enough requisite experience, and you feel you don't have the power to negotiate as such. So the thing is, you need to do your own work going into an interview, or your the recruitment stage has advanced to the point where you guys are now speaking about the finance part of things. So you should understand that, like I mentioned earlier, there is already a package for every role and every grade level. So you should do that finding, even though you don't have the exact figure. You should already know that, okay, for people that are in this industry space, this is how much they earn for this our own climb. I'm not in the US, I'm not in UK. In Nigeria, people that are doing software development, UI UX, project management, this is like the range that they receive, especially a technology firm. If it's a bank, you can benchmark with other banks in the banking sector and have that idea of how much. Because I even know of today, like banks, some banks now have separated their tech team from the normal banking, what the bank does, like the normal banking staff. So by that, it means there is a kind of demarcation in the pay grade, in the way they pay those tech people and the way they pay the normal bankers. But irrespective of whichever industry you find yourself, it's very important that you have an understanding of how the system works, how the payment is being done. So having that understanding can help you position yourself to negotiate better. So if you have an understanding that, oh, going into your first job, and you've researched about the company and found out that, okay, the entry level guys, they pay them around 500K, for instance. So having that information at the back of your head, you already know that, okay, once it comes to payment and they ask you how much do you think will be worth your while for this role, trust me, if I were you, and I already know that 500 is like what is the benchmark is. So it makes more sense for you to just like play your cards well and aim high. It will be bad if you pitch a 700 and they now look, they compare, and they ask you these questions will always come. They'll ask you something like, is this the rock bottom? Like, if you don't get 700, are you saying we shouldn't come back to you? And mind you, there are some things that a company do these days. If you've been able to go through every other stage of your interview, the technical part and every other time, you've been able to demonstrate competence across these areas, and they already know. In fact, if they're going to recruit you, the technical guys and every other person that have interviewed you would have given the HR the cue that this person is our preferred candidate. So you guys should just go and sort out the finance part of things. They already give HR that go ahead to sort out things. So the thing is, whether or not you now negotiate low or you get the right offer, which of course will make sense, the thing is they already know what they want. They have other people that they would have considered, but they would have given the HR the cue that this person is our number one person. This is the number two, this is number three. The reason why HR will only go to number two is if it's only based on grounds that probably uh, they are not able to match what you are asking, in terms of maybe you are pricing way above your pay grade. So don't overprice and don't underprice. And the only way you can do that to be on the balance and still have a good offer is for you to have an understanding of the industry. If you have understanding of even the company itself and some, I don't know what to call that, but an understanding of the industry, basically, it helps you to position yourself better for negotiation. So I think that should answer. Huh? Yeah.
Right. Thank you very much, Tony.
Yep.
That's very important. That's it. I think you've answered Chioma's question. I think the next question is for Merit, and the question goes thus: many fresh individuals overuse words like sir and ma and struggle with formal and informal balance. What is your advice on communication in tech teams? So let me repeat the question. Many fresh professionals overuse words like sir or ma. I know one guy always saying sir, ma, and they don't know how to. They struggle with formal and informal balance, right? What's your advice on communication in tech teams, basically?
What's my advice? First of all, I think every HR starts with doing a culture fit test. So if you're going for an interview and you are trying to join a firm, apart from being competent, there are some firms that are very keen on the culture. What is their culture like? Do they want people that are very people that used to wear suspenders, or people that can just pull up in a hoodie? So you should be able to tell the tone of the company's culture. I also like to ask that in interviews. So when they say, do you have any questions for us, I'll most likely not even ask about the salary or ask about how often they review the salary. I think one of my key questions in most interviews would be to understand the culture. So how is a typical day at X company like? Can you run me through what a typical day at your company is like? Let me understand your work culture, because that's also very key to how productive you are. So, in being able to answer directly your question, you should understand the culture. So, there are some in commercial banks, for example, you have to use SAR in some departments, and especially if you're around all these retail or sales, or like in the business arm of things, you have to use SAR. So, if you're in an environment where you have to use SAR, I believe you should use SAR and MA, right? But in other environments, you are allowed to use first name basis. But some people are so used to the sir and the mas, and when they get there, they keep saying sir and ma. Yeah, so I think personally, I prefer environments where you use first name basis. I can call you your name. If you are the CEO, I can call you your name and say, "Oh, this is your name." It helps you keep whatever tension. Even helps you to be more productive, in my opinion. Because instead of you to be fidgety when you're talking to maybe like the CEO, or the CEO is just the owner of that business, who is looking to get his business to the next level, who is looking to get some extra coins in his pocket. He would appreciate if you are free. Actually, he would like to see you in your element. He would like to see you in like your full glory. Let's see this person that we employed. Let's see how they are bringing in value. So first name basis will help you to relax, will help you to be very open about the conversations, whatever idea, whatever meeting you're having, whatever brainstorming session you're having. You kill the formality and get straight to productivity. So I prefer first name basis. That question is kind of like a trick question, because you're asking, how do you start calling, not call them sir if they don't want you to call them sir? I mean, simply don't say sir, right? Catch yourself, pinch yourself anytime you do that. Eventually, you get the drift, and you align with that work culture. But definitely, if you find yourself in a work culture where you have to use sir, you have to use ma, you have to write emails a certain way, then most definitely you have to. If you want to stay in that job, then you need to fit in and align with their standards. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, it did. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, you answered the question. Thank you very much. So I think okay. So this question is for Tommy. This person knows you're a QA. So the question is, what should a junior QA or engineer do if they are not assigned real tasks after the first few weeks? How can they show initiative? So let me repeat the question. Um, what should a junior QA engineer do if they are not assigned real tasks after the first few weeks? And how can they show initiative? I don't know if Tommy got that question.
Not assign real task, you mean?
So I've resumed in a company
Mm.
and it's been weeks and they've not assigned me new tasks. How can I show initiative? Should I walk up to the project manager and ask why I've not been assigned tasks? Can I um, talk to people that are already working on tasks and ask what they are doing? What are some of the tips you feel I can, you
Mm.
know, look
Interesting.
at to more like not so it won't be as though I'm not doing it.
Yeah, yeah, I think I get it. So, what I think you can do because I want to believe we are very fresh in the system. So I got into a space very recently, and trust me, for you to even get a grasp of the way things work in that space, you can't even use a month to understand certain things. So because they are dealing with extremely complex systems. So by that, yeah, being inquisitive and have a very strong test for learning would help you and take you far. So what I think you can do, you can leverage from your team members. Number one, understanding those products very keenly is very important. So by the time even tax gets to your table, you already understand the project roadmap about some product already that you want to even work on, because you can invest that time understanding so much about this because I want to understand that you are very new in the system. So I think the first thing is not even, you might even need to chill, like I said, get into a space, try and observe the terrain, understand the products properly, have a very proper understanding of those products. So by the time you start working on them, you're able to properly, as a QA person now, you're able to properly assess those systems critically, evaluate them critically. You're able to see failure points already, even without even assessing them. So for me now, if I get into a place now, probably a product driven company that they have a mobile app, they have other products like that. So the first thing I do, I can just go to Play Store or App Store, install their products. Just do more like a smoke test, try and play around and just see what is currently obtainable as per what the products can even deliver, comparing it to what I'm even expecting to see. So by that, you already have a feel, you already have a sense of the product already. You've not been assigned tasks now. This is just you like a regular user, because at the end of the day, everything we are doing is still for benefit of the users, right? So you put yourself where in the shoe of a user, and you're already trying to go ahead of the game in the sense of you having to even have that feel. So you have that feel, something like what Mary said. She was a customer service person, so she could understand the pain and frustration, pain points of the customers, then going back into product management and trying to transfer all of those understanding, or the trying to relate all of those pain points now to seeing how she can improve the experience from a product perspective. It's pretty much the same thing too. You go into those applications, you have your own personal experience of it, and based on your personal experience, tasks are being assigned to you. You already see how things should be done better. Apart from the part that you are spotting bugs, I'm very sure that you know that quality assurance will also take you beyond um, just saying that does it work as expected. You're also preferring better solutions on how the product should work, even though this is what has been defined in the requirement document. You can also advise that best standard practice, best practice will say we should do it this way for us to have a better product out there than what we currently have. So that's one way, or that's one thing you can do. There are several other things you can do. But I see it as a way, like you have more time to yourself, and by that you're trying to learn, you're trying to understand the products, you're trying to see areas of improvement even before tasks are assigned to you, like you mentioned. So I hope that answers in a way.
Yes, you did. Our speakers are really, really, really trying today. Like they are, these are some of the tips I wish I knew at the early stage of my career, and I believe it will help. I'm seeing text messages from some people that they are unable to join. Don't worry, the video will be available for you to watch after the live session. You can just head on to our YouTube page and go to live. You can see the video, right? We also be sharing the video to our students and those within the community so that they can get more information about what we're doing, right? And I also want to make you aware that Bright Fair Technology also offer corporate training. So we have a pool of about 74 um, experience, tech experience of engineers, or not necessarily engineers, but those in experience and that are in different niches, business analysis, product management, project management, and all that can train your staff. So if you know any company that you need, business analysis is a skill that everybody should have, not necessarily just those who are planning to set in the business and asset business analysis or data analysis. I mean, sorry, data analysis is a skill that everybody should have, not just those that are ready to settle in that field. So if you have um, if you work in a company that you feel you can talk to your boss about it, it's fine. You can let us know. Yes, so this question is for merit. This is from Olamide. Wow, this question is a practical question. I trust Merit to do justice to it. So Olamide is asking that I resumed in my new company with two other people. My boss seemed to be giving more attention to one of us. How can I prove myself better? Okay, I think many people struggle with this at first. Many newbies in the field, not just newbies actually. If you have just resuming in a place and you're resuming more than one person and you're on the same team, um, you might find yourself in a situation where um, you know you are you are being you're working alongside with two other or more people that are doing the same thing you can do. So this question is from Olamide Merit. She's saying that she resumed this workplace alongside two other people, and it seems her boss is giving more attention to one of them more than the other two. How can she prove herself, or what should she do? This is just a question that you can answer. In my head, I'm thinking, if I'm the one being asked this question, how do I answer? Because it might be due to several reasons, right? So, what do you think?
Yeah, Wale, so like you said, true, it might be due to several reasons, right? So it's maybe relative. I don't quite know how to approach this because we don't have some background into how maybe your first week of resumption was like, how the interactions were, how you were in those interactions, if you were exactly contributing. So, one thing I've observed, right? One thing I've observed in all my time in working in corporate is you are not always going to be called upon. So there are certain roles, there are certain things you're going to be bringing to the table, and they will need your input. But it's not all the time that companies would wait, especially if you're working in a very fast-paced company. So I'm going to try to take away the sentiment. Like, okay, you are two people are getting attention and you are not getting attention. I'm going to take away the sentiment and maybe just be, let's say, normal. Just be normal. Let's assume that everything is equal, all the options are equal here. So if you're working in a very fast-paced environment, things will happen really fast. If you're not contributing your quota, the train doesn't stop, the train keeps moving. So in fast-paced environment, there's this, if you're someone that really wants to do the work and you're not someone that just wants to coast along, you get into the kitchen, like you start mixing the dough. Nobody's saying come and mix the dough, but you're like, I'm here and the kitchen is hot, I might as well just start mixing the dough with you guys, right? So in fast-paced environment is like that. Whether you put your hand in that dough or not, the bread is going to be done and people are going to eat and just maybe, and then in 6 months, 9 months, they're like, oh, we have some irrelevant people who are not contributing anything, right? So don't wait for that boss to call you up to give you responsibilities. Don't wait for him to like recognize that you're there. There's a way that you can be there and you don't even need him. You would be able to just place your mark in that place. I'm going to give a very practical example so that it's not as if I'm not speaking English, because I tend to speak English a lot. When I got into commercial banking, like I said, I was the only Gen Z. I was like the youngest in the group. I'm old, I mean, but at that time I was the youngest in that space, right? We had a lot of people that spent 15 years, 22 years, that felt like we know it. Wake me up at night, I know what this job is about. And I was the least experienced. Day one was literally day one in product management for me. So even though I had valid reasons, I had seen various pain points I was coming with, I felt like I had everything on lock. Um, Whatever I say would not, you would take it with a pinch of salt. I mean, you are day one, I'm 20 years. What can you necessarily bring in? And maybe other people that recruited with me had more experience. So maybe nobody was really looking forward to my feedback and all of that. And I'm going to be very real. I didn't have a boss that really liked me. I think we always fought. We're always fighting like every single day. So just understand, let me try to not put myself in that situation. He wasn't looking forward to whatever I wanted to bring to the table. Right. But then I knew my stuff. I knew what I wanted to do. I was studying the terrain around me. I started off very stubborn. I didn't understand what their pain points were. and what was dragging them from doing the things that I felt they should have done 20 years ago. So when I finally got that drift, right, when I finally got, then I'm sorry, I may be dragging this, but I hope I get it to the finish line. When I started, then when we are in meetings, I'm like, and so this thing is not like this. I wonder the people that have been here, I don't know why this is. I didn't really say the people that have been here, but that's what it came off to them. So it felt like, oh, this person, you think you know too much. So I didn't have much support. Now that I've established that, I learned my lesson very early. So that's why I'm going to say I don't know how that interaction was. So probably watch your interaction, watch how you're coming off. Are you coming off like I know too much? Or are you coming off like I don't know anything? So you want to be able to strike a balance, right? To also help people accept you. So maybe there's something those other two guys are doing that makes it easy for him to like just maybe carry them along. Maybe he doesn't feel threatened by them, or it feels like they can do something. So it could be any of that. I don't have all the facts. But continuing my story, when I calmed down and understood what the drawbacks were, I now started looking for solutions. Okay, these guys are not being able to do this in XYZ. I thought it was easy, but it's not so easy. How do we get there? Right? Nobody was asking me for stuff. In fact, I already made a few enemies. Nobody was asking me for anything. But it was an opportune moment where I was able to now speak to the head of my boss. So I had a boss I was reporting to, that's like my team lead. Then I got a moment, an opportunity to speak to like my group head. And in 2 minutes, you could call that an elevator pitch. I wasn't looking to an elevator pitch anyway, but what I said just made sense. And because of that, I started getting tasks. The man would call me into meetings that even maybe my team lead was not aware of, right? And stuff like that. So it's not because um you are not, just don't take it to heart. You know why you are there, you know your role there. Look for, okay, these people are doing well, they are doing fine, but how can I do make them do better? Right? You may not get the result on day one, but work on it. Once you start working on it, you may not think you're progressing, but with every day that you put in the work, you're getting more informed. And once there's an opportunity for you to open your mouth, the thing you say might be nothing to you, but it's heavy to the person hearing it. Because the person, once you say it, to the person will be able to see the number of days that it took you to get to that point. But to you, it might be nothing. Do you get? So I hope that will help you navigate out of that situation. It's not nice. But I know you got this.
Thank you so much, Merit. That was deep. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your experience. I think I agree with her. Um, it takes a lot, and I think I can say that I've also been in that shoe before, but I was on the bright side. So I had the boss that if there's work to be done, he just prefer to give it to me rather than the other guy. And I think at that point, the other guy stopped talking to me and felt like maybe he is doing something wrong and I'm doing something right, and you know how it can be, right? And I think one thing that helped him was just to observe, and he was able to more like um, work on himself. So more like he realized that it takes more time to get work done when work is given to him, and he just improved on that. So sometimes it might just be that there's nothing wrong, right? And you just keep giving your best. And sometimes it might be that you need to work on some part of yourself, right? So some how you deliver or how you relate or some other things. So I have another guy that I know someone else where I used to work before also um quite a long time ago who did not know how to talk to people. He has been in the company for a while, so he knew almost everything about the company. So people do come to him and all that. So this person was more like he felt like the one in charge, right? So um, he was just doing too much basically, and after a while, the lead stopped relating with him and all that, and he just felt like what's going on, right? It's relevant. So I think what happened then was that two other people joined the company and they just started understanding the business. And once they understood the business, the team lead would rather go to those guys than come to him, right? I think until he left, he didn't know why, but I knew why because I observed and noticed that the way he talked to people wasn't quite okay, even down to his boss. So probably that's just an assumption, anyways. Probably the boss didn't like the way he talked or we believe and just found someone else to relate with. So I think you should just keep giving your best. keep doing your best, keep working hard and everything, right? So yeah, I think Mary did just the question. She already to give you tips to navigate your way through. I think I have just one more question for our guests, both of them, and oh, I think our time is almost up. But I think let me just quickly ask both of them the last question. Okay. This question is just very generic, but let me see if I can pick another one. I think he answered it in a way. Okay. This one to have been answered, but let me just in a way, right? So this is from Muhammad. He said, "In your early days, did you ever feel like Did you feel like an imposter? Okay, maybe imposter syndrome, or less competent, and how do you overcome that?" Ah, okay. All right. So this is from Muhammad. He's asking, told me that in your early days, how did you overcome imposter syndrome and being less competent? I know you said some things around. I think that was in when you started the whole conversation. You said some things that can be helpful, but maybe you can just reiterate it again.
Yep, I will
Um,
just
Overcoming imposter syndrome. I know many of us struggle with it in our first job. So, um, how can this person manage his way around?
I'll recap. So I'll recap. Good question. So number one, it still boils down to, for me, the way I say it boils down to knowledge. And no matter how much you know, there's still a need to keep learning. You can't know like everything. So we keep learning every day. So the only way I know that knowledge, when you have so much of it at some point, you can feel puffed up and you feel like, oh, you feel so competent and like have this self-confidence in your ability, which is good. Of course, going into a place and even without having to mix up with your team already, you already know what you're bringing to the team. The organization that interviewed you and brought you in have already seen something, they've seen value in yourself before bringing you in. So you coming in and probably you're still having this, there's still this form of doubt, and you think, uh, how do I run? How do I hit the ground running? Especially if you're in a fast-paced environment whereby things need to just they ship things out as fast as possible. I need to just like move with the flow. So the way I think you can overcome that imposter syndrome is number one, that knowledge part you must know. You have to keep learning. You have to be very open to learning, understanding your environment. These are part of things I said before. I'm just trying to reiterate. But then what you now know would help you be confident, because what that syndrome does is just the absence of confidence in your own ability. You seeing yourself like, oh, I don't think I have what it takes to deliver this thing. But when you start feeling like that, you don't feel up to it. You lose your self-esteem on the job. Even your fellow colleagues they are supposed to be collaborating with and cross-functional teams they're supposed to be working along with, you don't get the best of them because even you yourself don't feel you can deliver the best to start with. So it begins with you, it begins with knowledge, it begins with understanding the craft, understanding the product, understanding the terrain, the system, the structure, and seeing how you're able to fit yourself into that space. So once you are good from your own end, you've checked your skill. From beginning, I said number one, you have to, before even going into that space, you already ask yourself the question that is this niche that I've carved for myself, is this where I'm supposed to be? Am I supposed to be in product management? Does it align with my skill? Does it align with my strength and every other thing? And if you're able to pass that, yes, it aligns. The next thing on your craft, be a master at what you do. Be very exceptional at what you do. By that, you have this self-confidence. So if you're currently in a space now and you're still having the imposter syndrome, just keep learning, keep learning. And if you feel like you've learned, and it's like it's not working, then you need to go back to the drawing table. Ask yourself, am I in the right space? How did I find myself in this space? Was it something I chose, or I just found myself there and I'm struggling to grapple with this role? it's never too late to take a redress, take a step back and say, okay, this thing is not working for me. I think I need to step out of what I'm currently doing and look into something else that aligns with my strength. There's no problem in doing that. So you need to really check out all of these things. But if it's something that you know you're really cut out for and you just want to have much more confidence, having a lot of knowledge gives you confidence already. And the experience that you begin to build over the years as well. You go into a space, you already know how things should work. So by that, you even have, by that, you're already knocking off every form of imposter syndrome. So I think if you're able to apply all of these tips, you should be very fine. Thank you very much. Yep.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for that answer. Yeah, I think you have said it. Very important. So, lastly, for merit, before we round up, um, okay, more questions are here, but let me just pick one more so that. So, for other questions, you can check if you're in the community. We find out we can get some answers for you, or just find a way to write some. This check out our blog posts. We'll try and answer some of the questions there. Right. Okay, this question is from Olushola. Okay, this question, I think I'll pick another question. Question is kind of like, okay, okay, I think I like this. So this is from Juliet. What are some unspoken workplace expectations you wish someone had told you when you started out? What are some unspoken workplace expectations? So more like, what are some of the expectations that um, are expected in a workplace that are unspoken or that people don't really know about that you wish someone had told you when you started out? I don't know if you get that. So to give more context, probably in terms of expectations, what are things to expect? Um, that people don't really talk about when you're resuming in a new place, right? I think if you're resuming in a new place, the first thing is on the norms. You should, as I said when we started, right? You should have done your research. So what that means, you should have gone to the website, even done your interview process, understand what is expected of you, um, or just understand the product first. Then I think most companies they have this thing they do like more like an onboarding session, right? I think so for some companies, first 3 days, for some companies, first 1 week. So they will onboard you through the process, what is expected of you, and information about the company, some of the products they offer, and some other details like that, right? Some people don't know that. So depending on your company, right? So every company have their own policy, right? For some people that work on site, right, you are supposed to know that the days you're supposed to come to work, right? And you're supposed to know some things about the company, right? Try and get information about what your team does and some information. So I remember one time our global lead, when I was still in the company, came around and asked a question around the vision of the company. I think it's the vision of the company or the values of the company. I can't remember one of those two questions, and most people could not answer that. He was so surprised. Like culture is very important, right, in many companies, and I believe there are more expectations that people don't talk about that you should more like expect when you find yourself in a new place, right? Not so, I can tell you one. Not everybody will be your friend. Don't expect that when you find yourself in a company, um, everybody will be nice to you. Everybody will know you. Or some people expect that when you find yourself in a new place, they will make you a leader or something. So there are some things that you should know. So I think that question is for Merit. Merit, can you hear us now? Hi, Merit.
Hi. Hi. Okay, I
Yes,
hope you can hear me. My network went
yes, I
as
can
if
hear you.
as all right.
So the question
So,
again is, did you get the question?
not quite.
Or I should repeat the question. Okay, so the person is asking that what are some unspoken workplace expectation you wish someone told you when you started out. So there are some expectations from your bosses or from whoever, from complaints or from your company lead that sometimes nobody tell you about, right? So what are some of those unspoken workplace expectations you wish you knew if while starting out? Are there any?
I don't think there's any
Because
out of the ordinary.
okay, okay,
The ordinary
okay.
being
But
that
I'm just trying to
you
think of
were
those expectations.
so everybody has job description. So that basically covers a chunk of the expectation once you get in a new space. Maybe I would add that. So there's this tendency when you get to a new place, there's this um where you're a bit laid back and you can be like, oh, I'm new. I'm trying to understand what you currently have. I'm still trying to understand the products. In speaking from recent experience, I think I've lost network connection. Please confirm if you can still hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay,
You
okay.
can just yeah. You can
Okay, I'll
use
just
audio.
mute my video. Okay, so from recent
Yeah, it's fine.
experience, on day one, it's easy to say that I'm new to this company. I'm still trying to get data. I'm still trying to understand what they're building. I'm still trying to understand what their goal is. But from recent experience, I've learned that on day one, there are expectations from you already. Expectations around your job description. So your job description is a lot of things written in black and white, and it feels like a lot, and it doesn't feel like something you should get to on day one. But let me shock you. So I want you to now put yourself in the shoes of the company. If you had a company, you were starting up something and you're trying to achieve something, and you know you don't have all the expertise to be able to do that. So they say, okay, can you reach out to a professional in in this in this segment, or employ someone in this segment that can take on this responsibility and bring it home, right? And you finally get that person on the team. What do you think you would expect from that person? And start thinking about from day one. From day one, you want to be able to see if this person had a nice interview. I want to be able to see how they bring that in here. Interviews are very generic. Let's see how the person is bringing it home. So on day one, while you are getting acquainted to the job, don't forget that you're also there to deliver value. So that's number one expectation. It's never too early for them to expect value from you. In fact, there are some things you will not understand. They don't want you to understand. There are some things they want you to give it to me with your fresh eyes. So when you join a company, when you've been there for 6 years, 7 years, there are things that you probably not see because you've been there, you are too close to the product, you are too close to the company. But once you are coming there on day one, you are an outsider, you are seeing things that are just sticking out to you because you are not very close to the solutions that they have. So there are companies that expect that from you on day one to be able to use your fresh eyes advantage to bring in something new, right? So if you are starting in the new company, there are expectations, but the expectations are usually not far from your job description that you already have. But staying staying aware of that from ahead fast will help you achieve your goals fast, will help you make your mark fast. So the expectations are nothing new under the sun. Your job description will tell you that. Then look for how to turn those beautiful job description, heavy ambiguous English into practically applying it where you are at that new job from day one, from week one, from month one. I hope
Thank
that
you
helps.
very much, Merit. That was yes, you did. You answered the question. I think she said it. She has said it right. She has said it right. Put in the work, and you have your KPIs. You have expectations, or your company have expectations of you. They are paying you some amount of money to deliver. So know what you're supposed to deliver on. So let me just give you like some tips that will help you. She has mentioned at least the major ones that you need, right? I can just add that ask questions early, not too late, right? So it's better for you to ask for clarity upfront than for you to deliver the wrong results later. So for many people, they just let me get the work done, and you can't do rubbish. And the time that it will have taken you to have, get it in right at first and finish the work, you're not using 1 month to do what you should have done in 2 weeks if you've asked the right question. So don't wait till it's too late to ask questions. Ask questions and be strategic about asking questions. That's another thing, right? I don't like people that can't take initiative sometimes, right? You have documentation, you have access to some other information about the company, and you're always coming to someone to tell you everything, to like guide you all through the way. Like sometimes take initiative, ask intelligent questions. Let the person you're asking question know that you two you are putting in the work, not that you're just coming to for the person to just hold you through. You're not going to grow fast. Some people are not going to like you because this person is always disturbing me, right? So it's better to ask question early and get it right than ask later and time don't already go. Sorry for speaking in pidgin to our international audience. Another thing is take ownership. Don't just do what you are told, right? Track your tasks, follow up, communicate progress without being asked, right? Also, time is not equal to output. So that you are busy does not mean that you are productive. Have you seen people that okay, so where I work, okay, should I say this? Okay, yeah, let me just say it. There are some people that are being paid to work for just 3 hours. Yes. So you are going from you are leaving your house. Let's say you are staying. Sorry to those that do not stay in Lagos, right? Let's say you are staying in Ikorodu and your workplace is on the highland, and you have to leave your house by 4:30 to get to work on time, and you are still getting home around 11 in the night. There are some people that are being paid per hour in this same Nigeria, right? 3 hours and their work is done. So for those kind of people, it's not about how long you are working, right? It's about what how productive you are. Have you seen people that work and at the end of the day you're asking what's this person even doing, right? If you go to many of these governmental organizations, people are just there and the question is what are these people doing? They're not producing any results. So time is not equal to output. So being busy does not mean you are productive. Results speak louder than hours, right? So also when you are writing in chat, write clearly, let it reflect your professionalism, right? Feedback is also normal and not personal. So expect corrections and learn from them. It's not an attack most times, it's growth. Don't feel attacked all the time when someone tries to correct you, right? Don't ghost or go silent. So if you are stuck, many people have thought of this, you are stuck and you don't know what to do. Instead of you to communicate, you are silent and you're not doing anything. So they'll feel like you don't know what you're doing, right? Also, sometimes you need to be the one to share your wins, right? Respectfully, right? Um, Sometimes it's not about you just delivering. Sometimes if you don't know how to communicate your wins, someone that did not do much will just go ahead of you to talk about the small thing he has done and they'll promote the person and they will not promote you, right? Learn how to respectfully share your wins. Let people know you for what you do. Lastly, be punctual, be curious about learning more. So I think that's with that, um, we've come to the end of this webinar. Apologies to a lot of people that could not join. I don't know why. The live session will be available for you to watch later. I want to thank my two guests, Merit and Tommy, for sparing time out of their very busy schedule. These are very busy people. Um, and they spare out time to join us for this session. Thank you so much. Really appreciate. We look forward to hearing about you more at the top. And keep doing the great stuff you are doing. They are doing amazing stuff where they are. You can follow them on LinkedIn, right, with their names. Um, you can drop more questions in the community channel. And also, I want to thank everyone that was able to join. And we look forward to the next episode. Have a good weekend ahead. Okay, it's already in the weekend, right? Enjoy the rest of your weekend and keep learning, keep growing, keep putting in your best. And I can assure you the sky is the limit. Thank you very much once again. And